So most beginner traders want to find the easiest way on how to actually trade off on a small account and actually make money. Now listen, well, I actually went through the same track because I never had enough capital to start off with. But the most interesting part is at some point I was able to get $250 to about $1,000 in a span of 2 weeks. And actually later on I was actually able to grow the same account to over $60,000 in a span of 9 months. Now this is not it only. I've actually been able to also do challenges growing accounts of $100 to $800 and all that. And I've also had students do the same stuff. Now leaving all this on the side, I want to show you exactly on how to do this. Now first things first, we are going to talk about brokers. Now most brokers don't favor small accounts because they understand that we could actually have flippers that are going to make money all from small accounts, and this is not business at some point. So you must find a broker that is actually going to allow you to do all that. And that's why it's so important that you find the best trading broker. So you could actually click the link down in the description to sign up with the broker. Then the next thing is the leverage. So the leverage is basically an added advantage to you as a trader. So in some way it could actually be against you or in your favor. So off here, this is how the leverage basically works. So say you have an illustration of here. Okay, we could just have that. And say your trading account, is about, say, $100, and we have $100 off here. And in between here, you have the leverage. The leverage is basically off from the broker for you, right? As I mentioned, it could be against you or in your favor, but I want to show you how it could actually be in your favor. Sorry about this. So now say we have the leverage off here, and in such an instance, let's say you used 1 to 1,000. Okay, that's ridiculous, but this is how it is. So we are getting the $100 times the 1,000, and that means you could have total buying capital or total trading capital of 100 times 1,000 being up to 100K. That's crazy. So as I mentioned, this could actually be tempting in some way. I think I have more trading capital and I could actually make more. And in such a scenario, you could actually be tempted to open up bigger positions, but in actual sense, your trading capital is less. And in return, you're going to easily blow up your account. I know that's sad to hear, but that's how it is. So your leverage must not be too big and it must not be too small. So in such a scenario, say we used 1 to 1, okay? So say trader A used 1 to 1. So trading off with $100 and you have a leverage of 1 to 1, it means you have total trading capital of $100. It's the same. Now in such a scenario, you could actually not be able to trade instruments such as gold or US oil or anything. Why? Because your leverage won't allow you to do that. So as I mentioned, it must not be too big or small. So you can keep it in between max 1 to 500. And by the way, for some brokers in the US, it doesn't exceed 1 to 200. So you guys can actually see how good or bad it could actually be. So you can keep it, say 1 to 400, max should be 1 to 500. That's the first thing. Now, after opening up your trading account and having the right leverage set, we need to understand the pairs that you must trade, because this is very important. Now, back in the day when I was trading off with small accounts, I would trade NASDAQ. Now I would make money, won't lie, but when I would take a loss, it would hit hard. Say I'm making $100, but then on a losing trade, I'm losing $50. I know the loss is actually smaller, but in some way, if it's long term, then most enough the account is gone. So it's much better to trade pairs that could actually be favorable to your account than having to trade pairs that could make you money in the short term, but in the long term, right? Because in this case, we are looking at how shall we stay in much more longer, okay? So I would recommend pairs, say GBP JPY, GBP USD, Euro USD, the basic ones, USD JPY. And if you would wish, you can also trade gold, but I wouldn't recommend, but it's also a good one. Now, you need to keep your list as small as possible. I've always mentioned this because you need to stay focused and you need to grow your account and you need to stay in consistently. So in here, you must cut your watch list to a few pairs. You can actually keep 4, so you are going to entirely focus on those and you would be good. So with that, now let's dive into the concept on how you must trade. Now, I don't want to go back to the strategy. If you want to learn the strategy, I'll just put the link somewhere up here or at the end of the video, or I'll even put it in the description to learn my trading strategy. But now we need to understand how must you make money off of this account. Now, this is it. So trading off with a small account is a little tricky. But once you master something, it's going to work. Now you need to understand your objectives, that you are trying to trade to make money and actually get this account growing, right? It's not about today, say you made $100 and you're going to trade tomorrow. No, you want to make $100 today and then make more tomorrow and consistently, right? So let's talk about this. Now, say you are in a trade, so I could just go ahead and do an example of here. So if say you are in your good trade, I know this is too basic, this is not how it looks when you're in a trade, but this is it. So say you have a good trade, so you entered your buys off here and this is how the price is looking and it's all well and you're in profit. So you need to understand on when to capitalize on these trades, okay? So the whole secret is when you have winning trades, you need to win big. You need to capitalize on these good trades. And then when you have a losing trade, well, you need to catch your losses as early as possible. And this is the idea. So on a winning trade, you need to learn on how to scale in more positions. And this is how it works. So more often enough, I do believe you guys now understand that the price is going to push up, come back for retracement to collect more orders and then continuously push up. Or if say it's pushing back down, it's going to push down, come back to collect more orders and continuously push down. And that's the same example of here. So in here we can see that say the price was pushing up and we had our entry off here, so we had a buy off here. All right, just as that. Well, we can see that the price is pushing up, coming back. Now remember, you entered your trade already off here, right? And that and this means you already have profits. You're in profits off here, right? Now what you need to wait for is for the price to come back for a bit of a retracement to collect more orders, and then you can actually scale in. But there is much more to that, because you're not going to scale in positions because, oh, we have a pullback, let's get more trades in. No, listen. So this is it. You need to first confirm that the original market direction is back on. Now this is how it looks, because sometimes you could actually scale in a position, yet perhaps there was a reversal or anything. And let's just see how it looks on the charts. So we could actually just quickly have an example here. This is Euro USD. So we could actually look at this trade off here. Now this is real time, we're not doing a replay, but let me just assume that we made an entry here. I'm just going to make it as clear as possible so you guys have a better understanding. And this is it. So say you had your trade off here and say you entered off from here, and let me just now scale down to a H1 so we have a better understanding. All right, now this is how it's looking. So let's say now you entered your trade off from here. Well, it means for the fact that it pushed here, you are in profit, right? But now you guys now see that at some point the price must come back down here for a retracement or to collect more orders and then finally push up. And now this is why you must come in. Now we have an opportunity to add in more orders off here and have them move big, okay? So meaning at this point we could actually easily be able to scale in more positions. And you're not going to scale in positions just as that. You need to see the price showing that, look, we are back into the original direction. More traders are now coming in, and then scale in your positions, okay? And most importantly, please keep this, because it's very important. When you're scaling in more positions, your newer positions must be smaller than what you entered originally. Well, say your first position was 0.5 lots, okay? When you're scaling in, look at 0.1. In any way, it must be smaller than what you entered initially, because you made money already and you don't want to risk and lose whatever you made because you're trying to make more. No, what you must do is you are just trying to maximize your profits and not risking what you made. So in such a scenario, you would have your original positions running, and now you have scaled in more but smaller than what you had, okay? And at the end of the day, now you are actually now maximizing, making more money. And the next thing is learning on when to actually secure partial profits. Now I've always shared this idea with my students over and over and over. Every time we're in a good trade, well, I'm going to notify them and say, look, we need to secure partial profits, or you need to extend your stop loss to break even, because we understand the concept of making money and the concept of growing small accounts, than perfection. Okay, now this is how it works. So say you are making money and say you scaled in your positions already, you need to understand when to secure off profits, because at some point the price is actually going to push very close to your take profit and then reverse. And mostly enough, it's the most stressing thing. Now you need to understand that, listen, I've made a bit of money and it's time to secure off partials. Sometimes I say once I hit 50% of my take profit, I'm going to go ahead and close off partials. Say I had 4 positions, I could say I'm going to close off 2 and let the 2 to keep running, or just drag my stop loss to break even so I have profits locked in and much more of a risk-free trade. And that's a better way, because at the end of the day, you're trying to compound, you're trying to make money. Now, lastly, you need to understand the concept of compounding. Now, compounding works in every aspect of life. It's small actions at a time that actually come up to a bigger result or action at the end of the day. Same thing with trading. It's these small actions that you are taking or the smaller profits that you are making that are going to compound up to something big, okay? And in such a case, you need to understand that, look, if I'm trading off with $100 and I made $20, I made money. I'm not going to make the $100 the same day because I want to grow a small account. So you need to understand that it's going to take a bit of time, but your account is growing. Because now, say you made $20, you could say, well, I'm going to withdraw $10 as my profit. Obviously, you need withdrawals, and then keeping the other $10 to see your account grow. Because now that means if you are trading off with $100, now this is 110, and now you're probably making more than what you were making initially, and it goes on and on and on. Now, if you can actually put all these 3 practices into action and following strictly what I just told you, then most enough, you're going to come back to this video's comment section and you'll say, listen, Daniel, this actually worked. Because listen, I say this because it worked for me, and as I mentioned earlier, it's working for my students. Meaning, if you can actually put it into action, it's going to work for you. So for the fact that you are still watching up to this point, well, I clearly understand how badly you want to become good at trading and become a successful trader. And listen, it's very possible, because it's been possible for me and it's been possible for over thousands of students that I've actually trained. And look, it all starts now. We could actually fasten up your trading journey, and that means you could actually start making money as quick as possible. And look, we have a money back guarantee, meaning if at any point you didn't make money or anything, we're going to refund all that you paid for the program. And look, this means there is nothing to lose, but way much to gain. And it all starts now. So I'm going to put the link down in the description, sign up, and I'll see you inside. And by the way, remember, the moment you're in, then there is no looking back. It's either winning or winning. And I'm going to attach a video just on the side, watch it, and I believe it's going to be of use. And I'll see you in the next one. Let's go.